This is Love, Lies, and Dead Roses, and I'm your host, Candice Christine. Today's episode is going to be a little different. I think the basis of my podcast has been a little misunderstood, and I kind of want to give you guys a little bit of clarity about who I am and what this podcast is about. And there is none better to do this with than my mama, Mama D. So, Mom, what was your first thought when I told you that I wanted to do this and that this was something I was actively pursuing?
You want me to be really, truly honest? Come to my mind was, oh God, not something else she's gonna start and not finish, like the Mary Kay makeup and stuff. I'm like, yeah, we'll see. Let's see how long this lasts. No, but yeah, yeah. I wouldn't have been someone to go out and do it. That's me though. I'm a private person, and I don't know. I'm just not as outgoing and loving as some people.
Do you think I'm outgoing and loving?
Yeah, and I think you make friends. You make friends easy. I don't know how you make people friends like that because I can't make a friend there one.
But, growing up, it's really weird. Growing up, I actually struggled with making friends.
Yeah, and
I
yeah,
went through a lot growing up, and I think all of that stuff that I went through, it kind of like led to this. I think I'm a very empathetic person. I feel for people.
yeah, that's me. I do have empathy. I don't have no sympathy, but I have empathy.
Um, so the first episode was kind of centered around something that happened to you. What did you think about it?
um, I guess after 28 years of having to carry it around in the back of my mind, and and things I went through, and in the process, and I mean, I approve of it. I mean, people say things that they can or can't do if a situation would arise, but I ain't never said whether I can or can't do it. But when the situation came about and it happened, then I handled it accordingly. And just, I thought it was pretty well done.
I think it really opened up also to the other side of the
Yeah,
victim pool
yeah. 'Cause
because I mean,
I never even considered or thought about what they would think. You know what I mean? Unless I guess I was hoping they would think of him as a monster just as I did. You know what I mean?
and they
Because that's what he is. And so, to hear that I'm not being condemned or called a liar and all this other stuff, and people are actually like opened up to it and like, well, hey, instead of crucifying me for it happening when I didn't, so it was nice to know that they see where I'm coming from too. You know what I mean? That they're
and they
not like,
sympathize for you too.
yeah, they're not all backing him up and stuff.
It's a very thin line between how to react if that's someone, and you and I have really been through that because with my brother, we supported him through all
Thick
the
and thin,
jail and
thick and thin. I invested more time, energy, and money in that boy than I have any of my kids, and I've had to down spend more time running and doing for him than my autistic son because of how he was and stuff. So I invested a lot of energy and time and money and prayers and you name it. So I felt like I've done everything I could possibly do. So I'll walk away. I'm not fighting battles that I don't have to fight.
so Mom, can I ask you a question?
You
Speaking of
can ask
siblings.
if you want. Make sure you ask me a question you really can handle the answer to, because I'll be 100% honest. So be careful. Well,
What was the thing that made me different from my siblings?
you were more quiet and to yourself. You kind of secluded yourself and everything, and kind of didn't. I kind of don't remember hearing much from you, to be honest with you, or seeing you very much at home and stuff. And I know you were going through a lot of stuff, and yeah, I was too. And it was just a lot going on, and But you were pretty much to yourself. You didn't really associate with too many people or socialize or anything.
I really struggled with really identifying with them, especially
Yeah,
my sister, because one of the things I got picked on about was claiming her as my sister and being told I was lying about her being my sister. So,
yeah,
to give context, growing up, I was bullied very heavily. And I've actually started thinking about that a lot because you didn't find out until I had postpartum depression that I actually had a suicide attempt when I was 14 because of
yeah,
how bad the bullying was. And there's a thing going on with a young girl at 13 years old. She was a year younger than me, and she took her own life because of three girls that were bullying her.
right.
And I've really been like battling with myself about telling people. Um, I keep how many people I've told to a minimum, and it's kind of a big deal for me to tell people that I've actually survived two suicide attempts in my life. Um, the first one, I was 14, and I was bullied very heavily, and then there were a lot of home problems. I'm not going to put our problems at home on blast. I leave that up to you. If you want to, if you don't want to, it's totally okay. But there, I was getting it home and at school, and I just thought I would solve a problem, and I can see everything that that girl went through. And I think that's where a lot of my empathy comes from. My second attempt, you actually walked in on. I had severe postpartum depression, and antidepressants did not work. And I was struggling with being a new single mom, a shit ass job. My job was horrible. The people I worked with were horrible. And I guess in that mindset, I thought my kid would have it better without me and everybody else would have it better without me. But I've come to a better headspace about that. I think I try to make people's lives better.
Wait, well, hold up. Let me ask you. Let me put this out here. And I mean, like I said, I'm 100%. I don't care if my past is brought up against me. It is what it is. If it weren't to happen, I wouldn't be the person I am today. Some people probably wished I wasn't. But now, you talk about that postpartum depression and then an attempted suicide and all. But the thing that got me was Charlotte was right there on the bed. She was right there on the bed. Now listen to me. What? Why didn't you think back when I took and overdosed on all them Xanaxes and tried to take my life because I felt like my kids would be better off without me, that I was in a bad place. I was being a single parent to other human beings, and I needed to get my own self straight and be able to, and everything I did was focused on y'all. So some things happened, got mixed up in some stuff. But anyways, yeah, I took like 90 Xanaxes so
I
I
remember
can just leave this world. I was so unhappy and so overwhelmed and everything. So you seeing that and you being there and remembering that, and I did it while my kids were in the house. I just downed them and thought, you know what? I'll just go to sleep and never wake up. I went to sleep and I woke up to go pee. I don't remember nothing, but I mean, it should have done something, but I was fine physically. You know what I mean? I just passed out and slept a lot. And I know you remember that, but I would think that you
I was
knowing
the only
what it
one
felt
out of
like to see that for you not to do that to your own child. That's where I was coming
but
from.
but also, mom, you have to understand postpartum depression. The chemicals in your brain are. I wasn't even thinking about
I
that.
know.
I
I know. Just like with any kind of depression, just like with my bipolar depression. I'm in a whole different world than anybody else is in. I'm in a whole different place. You are not on my level. I'm out there. So I understand. But I don't know, it just
I
really flew
think it
all
was
over me when I
also,
walked in and seen Charlotte sitting there watching you do that. That
but
flew all over me.
also you were walking in on your kid trying to take their own life, and you didn't even know about the
Oh
first
yeah.
attempt until then.
Oh yeah. Well,
I get that
look,
deep down.
look. To be honest with you, when I first walked in there, or I was first in there, walked in on that, the first thing I could think about is I'm gonna beat her ass to do me like that. You're not doing me that way. And you remember, I went to the head. I broke my pinky finger on you because I was so upset with you trying to bail on me and your daughter and trying to take that way out, and it just flew all over me. And between trying to get you unraveled and beating you upside the head and breaking my pinky finger, I was so mad at you. And then that's when I jumped on you about Charlotte being in there on top of that,
But
which made it even worse.
do you get it now also that like my headspace wasn't okay anyways?
But see, this is the difference between me and other people. I have a strong mental willpower, okay? I have very strong mental willpower. And, I spent 7 years closed up with bipolar depression, gained excessive weight. My muscles stiffened up. My shoulder blades wouldn't even protrude out of my back or to move around or nothing. They were stuck. And so, I understand the depression and stuff. But this is the thing about it, though. As depressed and miserable and unhappy and just horrified of my life, and everything looks worse. I mean, I could have had it worse, but I wasn't looking at that. I was just looking at everything already being worse. But, you know, I have only attempted that one time to take my own life, and I'm so glad that the good Lord didn't make it happen. And that's not the only time the good Lord saved my life. You know what I mean? So I understand
I
things, but
mean,
that moment, that when it just hit, that was just totally. I
do
was not in
you
control. I was
do
not in
you
control.
wonder if God made you go in there at that moment to save me?
I wouldn't doubt that because the good Lord saved me from dying before, saved me and Taylor from dying, being burned up. So, I mean, I already know that the good Lord has a purpose for me and my kids because there's too many chances that could have been, that have happened that I could have lost my life and I didn't. Miracles, basically. So, I know I have a reason, and I know my reason here is I thought was to overlook my kids and make sure that they were good and whatever, whatever. But now, I'm down to 2 kids now. So, I mean, all I could do is just be there and just hope that I'm not going to get hurt in the process. You know what I mean? But everything that's happened in my life, the good Lord has been in control of it. And
I don't think
everything I went through was I had to go through to be where I'm at today and be a good grandmother and my grandkids and stuff and be a different person, a better person. So,
a lot of people realize how far I've come in a lot of ways.
yeah, I was always worried that you would never make friends. You'd be like closed up in your room, probably on the computer or something, and just so antisocial and not even tempting to try to meet people. But you actually did the total opposite. And I mean, you meet people, shit, you friends on Facebook after meeting them one time. Shoot, I'll never talk to anybody else again. I mean, so I envy that. I mean, I don't mean that in a deadly sin envy way, but I mean, I wished I was more
And
outgoing and a people
I tried
person
to
because
help
I'm
you
not.
too.
I know, but I'm just not a people person. People get on my damn nerves, and they're just triggers for me. So I just try to protect the world to stay home. I just don't socialize. So I wished I could like you do. I wished I could make friends like that, but I just can't.
So, okay, we talked about what set me different, like aside or set me apart from my siblings when I was younger. What sets me apart from them now?
Well, I mean, even though y'all do a lot of things in common, and I think it's just developed through years of trying to get away with stuff or what have you. But I mean, I will say this much: you have never denied, and this is the most important thing in my life, are my grandkids. And you have never denied me. Even if we were fighting, even if I was showing my ass, I could have cussed you out. You bring a law to my house, all this shit that goes on between us. But you've never told me I could not see my granddaughter. Never. And you've never told her she couldn't see her grandmother. So that's the one thing that I envy and I appreciate the most, that you are different because your brother denies me seeing his daughter, my granddaughter. So that is just real impressive with me. I appreciate that because they're the most important people in my life. You know.
Also, I feel like out of, Taylor don't count. I mean, he does count, but in this whole thing, Taylor doesn't count.
Taylor's an
um,
exception to everything.
to everything.
Taylor's just
Also,
an exception.
I'm always the one that comes back. I always.
Yeah, you make effort and stuff. You do. You always make effort to kind of smooth it out. And the only thing that would bother me about you kids, and you do it too, is you won't shut the hell up. When I'm having a mood or I'm having an episode, the worst thing in the world anybody could do is start running their mouth at me and won't talk and won't just let me get it out of my system and shut the hell up and let me down. Then I'll be fine. But y'all, you
You
wouldn't
have
do it.
you have said that. I'm really glad you learned how to stand up for yourself, but I wish you'd stop standing up for yourself to me.
Yeah. I mean, y'all just shut up. I'm still the boss. I'm been used to raising y'all kids and being in charge of y'all and everything y'all done in sports, whatever it is. You know, it's really hard when that's what you devoted your life to is your family, your children. You're left to raise. You want to make sure you're as good as mom as possible and that you get them their checkups and whatever and whatever. But, I forgot where I was going with this. I got it. I remember. But I'm so used to. I mean, I had appointments every damn day in the week for weeks after week after week with y'all. So when y'all grew up and started becoming your own people, and not, and I wasn't able to control your decisions and stuff, to only trying to save you from pain and hardship. But so when when they get older and they don't want to listen, it just pisses me off so bad when y'all don't want to listen because I already been there and I know what's going to result and I don't want to see y'all go through it. But like they say, you got to let them get boo boos and all that good stuff. So I just started saying, oh, well. And then when y'all come to me with problems, I'm like, okay,
I
what you want me to say?
I'm not saying that that they don't have their shit together. I don't completely have my shit together, but have you ever thought about it? I am your only child that's a single parent, and I feel like I have so much more together.
Yeah. I mean, see, I guess I'm kind of softer on you in a lot of ways because I know what it's like to be a single parent. Even though you just have one, it's still a job. I don't know how I survived. I know the good Lord walked me through that one because I don't know how I made it through raising 4 kids by myself. And I mean, my parents didn't watch my kids or nothing like that. Anybody, they didn't watch y'all like that. Not when I was living around and stuff. They watched y'all only when I had to work and daycare was closed. And they never went to your doctor. They never took y'all to the doctors. No, I did everything for y'all. I never burdened my parents with anything, running
I
or
think
anything.
that's also why you're so willing to help me because you know what it's like.
I know what it's like to hurt.
Especially
I know. If it wasn't for getting distance, we would go hungry and God knows anything else because I was in my 20s. you know, I didn't even have
you
time to get
were
a work career or learn nothing or whatever. I had to take what
by
I
the
could get.
age by the age that I was when I had Charlotte, you had 4 kids.
Yep. And you
I
tell
don't
me,
think they
how would you be handling that right now?
what
Four
having a
kids,
kid,
4 kids
four
by
kids.
yourself.
Oh, I'd be in an insane asylum because I'm surprised Charlotte hasn't put me in one
Charlotte,
yet.
Charlotte's enough, boy. She's enough,
Ooh,
but
she's a
yes.
firecracker.
When you have to keep up 4 different human beings, not counting yourself, 4 different people's clothes. It was 4 times. It was five times everything. 4 times everything I had to do. I had to do it 4 times more. So I didn't see a lot of things that went on and who was going through what, and just like you and stuff. Because I was so overwhelmed with everything that's going on. That's why I had my downfalls because I just broke. I was just broke. I was like, I just need a break. I do this shit every day, all day for years, their whole life. I just need a break, and I had issues and things happened that I wished it never happened, but they did. So, but
But also that helped cultivate me and don't take this offensively at all. I think as a parent you should always try to be better than the parents you had,
yeah,
no
and do
matter what.
you do things just because you're an experienced child and you know what it was like when you were a child and parents did whatever it may be. I mean, no, you're supposed to learn from my mistakes. That's the whole point of parenting. I don't only teach you all the good stuff, but I also show you how it is to be down, to come down or fall down, and it's okay. Just get back up. And I think I've proved that to all my kids. I'll fail, and I was hurt, and I went through a lot, but I bounced back, and I never ever gave up on y'all, and I always came back and finished my job as a mother to y'all. I did. I came and finished it, and I became a better person, and I changed my life because of my children, and I will keep my life the way it is because of my grandchildren.
I always tell people about like, when we talk about my childhood. No, I didn't have it easy, but honestly, I love that the grandmother that you are to Charlotte. She loves you so much.
I love that baby, and she does the most innocent and just unexpected things to always assure me that I'm beautiful, that I can do it. You can do it, Dee Dee. You're a big girl, and always encouraging me, complimenting me. Just come up. I could be sleeping. I'll be like kind of in and out, but I could feel her kissing me on my cheek while I'm sleeping, or I could feel
She
her.
gives me forehead kisses.
Yeah, I don't open my eyes because I'm still kind of, but I could feel. I'll wake up and have a stuffed animal hugged up to a stuffed animal, because she wants me to have a snuggie, snuggles. But that's the most. I've never felt so loved by any child like I do her, and that's the God's honest truth. She
I think I'm
shows
doing a good
me.
job with her.
She shows me. She don't just tell me. She shows me in everything she does. Everything she does, everything she can to make me happy. And if she gets in trouble, oh dear God, it breaks her heart.
Oh, I know.
Oh God, she gets in trouble by me. Oh my God, it's like it just
She
broke her.
she gets like that with me too. If I get onto her, she does not handle getting
She
in
don't handle.
trouble.
Yeah, she tries so hard to be a good girl, but I mean, she was born with a good soul. That's just what I mean. She has an awesome soul, a pure, loving soul, and I wish I could be more like her. I really do wish I could be more towards people like her, because it's so difficult for me. It's so hard for me. But if I could just have her personality and stuff, shoot, she's a good kid.
I,
That's my
I
baby.
worry about her a lot because she reminds me a lot of me at that age. She wants to be, and that was my thing too. When I was that age, I wanted friends, and that's really when
Yeah,
the bullying started. I remember being in church and certain two girls that were friends with my sister, they picked on me, and I think that's when my self exclusion started because I got excluded a lot.
yeah.
I was
I
never
was
in the
like
clique.
that. Now I was like that too. When I would go to church and stuff, I sit with my mom and daddy. I didn't sit down there with the youth group. And the moment I did sit with the youth group, I felt so uncomfortable and out of place. And I would just go back and sit with my parents. I didn't even, you know what I mean?
I
I
sat with your
did.
parents at church too.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't want to associate. I didn't. I had nothing in common. I just wasn't a socializing person. I've had friends in my life, but you know, I'm a brutally honest person. They don't stay around long, or they can't handle me. But I mean, I've had friends before that even came about. But now I just, for years, ever since I had kids, I have not been a people person. I've just been so invested in my kids. I don't know how to socialize. I guess I don't know.
I know I learned that at the bar.
Yeah, I was so miserable there. I just wasn't. I was so out of my comfort. I was so out of my comfort zone. It
I
wasn't nothing.
tried.
I know, but it's just the music sucked. The people were all gathered up and stuff, and I'm just sitting here like, I don't drink like that. I'm not a big drinker, and then the one drink I did drink burned my stomach on fire, and I was just not. I was just
That's
saying, you
because
know
you got a
what?
Long Island.
I was like, well, I used to drink them like the back of the day, but no, any alcohol burns my stomach. Anything does now. But I
Because
was
you don't
all I
drink.
could, you know what I was thinking? All I could think about sitting there is going home, doing my thing, and playing COD Mobile. That's what I was wishing I was doing right then. I said, shit, I wish I was at home playing COD or something. Because I was so out of my comfort zone. I'm just not an out, out of the house kind of person.
Yeah, and that's okay, Mama. Like it's okay.
I
I
mean,
was
I
just
still,
trying to get you out the house because you're always in the house. I was trying to get you out, and
I know.
And
I
I was
know,
trying, and
and I
I was on my
tried.
phone trying to get people to come, but I knew that up there.
I mean, because you were on, then that's another thing. You were over there on your phone. I'm just sitting here. I don't
I
want to
was
hang
trying
on
to
my
get
phone.
people to come out so you can meet some
And I'm
people.
sitting here like, damn, I just feel like I'm going to stomp on the. And then you talk about you and Courtney taking me out. I say, hell no. And then I'm a third wheel and I won't have nobody to talk to. I was like, no. Defeat the whole purpose of getting me out of the house.
We were going
You
to take you
know?
to the club, take you dancing.
Oh, you don't want me up there dirty dancing now.
Oh my God.
Be mom up there being a freak. No, I just play.
Shut up.
You'd never take me to the club again after that. I promise
No,
you
I don't think I'll take you now.
that. Yeah, I think I gave you that warning sign.
Yeah, you traumatized me enough
Look,
with
I'm
some
trying to have
things.
fun. I gotta do something to try to have fun. Do what I know best. I'm just kidding. I'll behave. Anyway,
Please, please.
I know I was given a heads up. Behave. I think I'm doing pretty good if you want to know the truth.
You are. I haven't turned 50 Shades of Red yet.
I know that's right. Well, I get you all kinds of colors. You be all
I'll hang
kinds of
up on
different.
you. Do I not
I
hang up
know.
on you?
When you if you hang up on me, when you hang up on me, it's that's when I know I got you good and shut you down. You try to come at me and try to embarrass me, and I just blew that shit right back at you, didn't I?
Yeah, I
And
tried.
some, and some.
Listen, somebody else told me to tell you that. We're not going to talk about what it is I told you, please, for the love of God.
Oh, I ain't
I
going
told
there.
him he's not allowed to talk about that when he comes on. Anyways, and he's like, tell her this. And I was like, no. And he's like, yeah, you'll shut her up. I was like, and then I got so fed up with some of the stuff you were telling me. So I said it, and I immediately texted him. I said, well, your plan backfired.
Of course it did. Hey, he don't know me like that. You better tell that boy he don't know me like that. He better come up with something better than that.
I'll have you know, Miss Thang went down to her room and she brought up 5 different sets of clothes, by the way. And she said, these are my clothes for tomorrow. I said, you're going to wear 5 outfits tomorrow. She goes, no, I'm going to figure out which one I want when I wake up.
Oh, fresh thought.
And she put like outfits together, and I was like, oh God.
Yeah, I've seen. You've seen. Yeah, I don't say nothing when we ain't got nowhere to go or nothing. She just goes and puts her clothes on. Sometimes it's a hit, and most of the time it's a miss. But I just let her go around the house like that. You know, ain't going nowhere. Who's gonna see her?
So last week when Courtney came up here to get her,
Yeah.
um, she's like, Sure, let me see what you're wearing. She goes, oh no, this is tacky. I said, don't say that. She dressed herself. She said, yeah, I picked this outfit out,
Who
Courtney.
are you calling? What? That's funny.
And she's like, well, we just need to change your pants. You got way too many prints going on. I said, I tell her that. But the kid, she loves color. She can brighten up anybody's day in so
You
many
know,
ways.
you're about. You know,
And
wait. Go ahead.
she loves color. She loves glitter. She is extra.
Have you ever watched The Browns,
I
Mr.
mean, kind
Brown?
of.
Well, it's a TV show, The Browns, and it's like him and his daughter, and he. You know, have you if you've watched it,
I've seen
do you
it.
remember how he dressed? Do you remember how he wore his clothes and how he dressed? You know what I'm saying? That's
Are you
Charlotte.
saying that my child
That's
reminds
Charlotte.
you of Mr. Brown?
Yeah, because he can't match either. And then Prince, Lord help.
And someone else said that she reminds them of Raven from That's So
Mhm.
Raven
Yeah,
because she would wear like the bold colors and
yeah.
the hair. And I was
That
like,
might be her trademark. You never know.
she wants a sewing machine so she can make her own clothes. She
Hey,
told me
let her
one
do it.
time, it was a while back,
Help
she
her
said the
teach.
clothes in the store just aren't good enough.
She needs to take a class or something. I'd put her little young butt in a class or find somebody that could teach her, and I bet you she'll figure it out and can do it. She
I
can do
swear
it.
she will.
She sure can
I
do it.
swear she would.
Yeah.
Do I ever remind you of Papa or Mama? Which one am I more like, Grandma or Grandpa?
You're more like mama, easy, kind of soft. Daddy's hard. I'm more like daddy. Like daddy's coarse. He was a hard ass, and he's just like me. He didn't give a damn. He'd give you his opinion if you asked him. He'd tell you what he thought. If you didn't like it, that's your problem. Shouldn't have asked him. But I'm the same way. But you're more like mama. Mama was always the submissive kind, you know what I mean? And Daddy was always dominant in the family, you know what I mean? And it went his way. See, you worried about me? You were worried about me. You just about to open that door and we about to go home and we about to really liven this show up.
No, please don't.
Hold on just a minute. Sorry about that. But yeah, you about to open that door you didn't want me to go through. Talking about me. Dirty little girl. See that face? I'm gonna start making her change colors. Watch.
Please don't. Please.
You're gonna be as
There was
red as
one
them
day you
lips.
had me about the same color as my hair. Okay.
Look, yeah, you
Don't
just
do
went through all kinds of shades. You know me.
that. I I feel like Charlotte kind of reminds me of Grandpa sometimes.
Oh yeah.
I feel like he would have had a field day with that one.
Well, you know, I don't know. He likes them mean kids though.
She's a little asshole sometimes.
Well, she does do some little. She does talk a little snooty to somebody. She looks at
She
you. Excuse me. I'm with her hand on her hip. I'm like, excuse you.
listen, girl.
Sassy little girl.
Listen, girl. I'm like,
Yeah.
at time.
Yeah. She be trying to call me a girl like that. She be trying. Okay, little girl. I said, little girl. I said, look who
I
you
feel like he
talking.
would have gotten tickled by her. He used to get tickled at some of the stuff we did.
Yeah, oh yeah. He would laugh, especially when I was out there lining y'all up and y'all was like little stepping stools and I had y'all lined up, just lecturing y'all and telling you why you're in trouble and why you shouldn't do that. And he'd be sitting in the doorway, sitting there laughing, looking outside, laughing at me because I had y'all call me Sarge. I had y'all lined up, standing, saluting. He
I
got
really
tickled.
wish they could have seen the kids. That's one thing in life that I really wish they could have been
I,
here for these kids.
you know, I figured that they probably would never meet my grandkids, but at least Mama met Becca. You know, she was just she was just a month old, but at least she got to see her. But I really wish that I knew it wasn't gonna happen, but I really wish my parents would have been able to see my grandbabies. That would have been amazing. But
They would have been tickled by them. I mean, we got Becca. She a little tomboy out there.
yeah,
She would have been out there with Papa in the garden. I already know it.
yeah, you'd be out
She
there,
would have been
yeah,
out there doing all kinds of.
getting dirty.
Yeah, and then we got Addie. She a little country girl too.
Yeah, she was out there hunting and stuff. Why was she
Yeah,
5 years old out there? Caught her first buck, shot her first buck. She sure did. So
she's. And then we got little Miss Chris Charlotte. I think Papa and Mama would have been very entertained
entertained,
by Charlotte her
entertained.
shows.
Yeah, they'd be entertained. Yeah.
And he would have had her doing the piano
Oh yeah.
with how musically inclined she loves some music.
Yeah, because he thought I would at church I would sit at the church piano and I'd kind of like hit the keys and play along, you know, and I was actually going along with the music like by ear, you know, didn't know a note or nothing. And he sat there and seen me do that, and he started giving me piano. He got me piano lessons, bought a piano and everything, and started getting me piano lessons because he wanted to see if that maybe he thought maybe that would be my talent or something.
What do you think my talent is?
Why you asking? I don't know. You got. I need heads up. I got to think about things. What's your talent?
Yeah,
Let me think. Well, you got a good personality. I think. I think you're a likable person. That's very important these days. Because I don't like too many people, but you, I can deal with you
thanks. Until I,
sometimes till you piss me off. But yeah. But that's what
but I
that's
break
how
it
I
down
think.
for you
You what?
because you overthink things, and I try to put it into perspective for you, don't I?
Oh yeah. I mean, but
There's no reasoning with mad.
oh, I know, but still. But look, I got a hit. I got a head. Get your brother. It's already been that long.
That's okay.
Is that all right if I cut it
Um,
short for that? I didn't even realize that was that way. That it was that late.
well, we had technical difficulties, guys,
Yeah, we
and
had to deal
I
with
had
that for a
COVID
minute.
again for the fourth time. I had COVID. That was a
So it's
fun
been
time.
kind of, but yeah. So I
We'll have
mean,
to do this
kind of
again.
the kind of how to wrap it up from my end is people may not understand the whole. What is your idea on this podcast? Why are there different ideas or different discussions or whatever? Well, you know, you can't. We like to mix it up. You know, it's I get bored. I get bored easy, but I get Now, if it's interesting stuff, I like to hear about myself. That was interesting, but even though it was, about me, but yeah. So, but that's
I
just
just
basically
try to
what it
give
is.
people a platform.
Yeah, and I mean, it could be
I've always
anything.
I've always loved hearing people and giving perspective on things, and I've always been the type of person to see the other side, and I just want to give people a platform to tell their story, and a lot of times I give my guests the option to choose their topic. But
Yeah,
all right, Mama, I appreciate you and I love
you're
you.
welcome. I love you too, and we'll meet again sometime.
I'll call you 20.
All right. Yeah, I know you'll call me for stupidest things, but I love you.
As always, follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and we are starting a Patreon soon where we'll have bonus content like True Crime with DD. My mom is very entertaining when I tell her gruesome shit. You know, email's always open, and I'm always welcoming new guests. Till next time, this is Love, Lies, and Dead Roses, and I'm your host, Candice Christine. Toodles, Mama.